With tensions in West Asia at an all-time high, how would Iran-led attack on Israel look like? That's the question we'll be talking about today. Now, India Today Global's open source intelligence team decodes possible scenarios of an Iran-led attack on Israel and the prevailing power equation in West Asia. Simmering tensions in West Asia are on the verge of exploding into a full-fledged regional war, which many fear could begin with the imminent Iran-led multi-pronged attack on Israel expected in mid-August. As the global diplomatic community races against time to avert such a scenario, many wonder how Israel, a tiny nation, would defend itself from the combined wrath of Iran and its regional sub-state militias. In this episode, we'll try to provide a big picture of the power structure in the region. Israel and its largest ally, the United States of America, are gearing up for a large-scale attack following a string of high-profile killings of Iranian and Hamas leaders, with the most prominent being Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh and Hezbollah commander Fouad Shukr less than 10 days ago. Tensions in the region have been high since the deadly October 7th Hamas attack on Israel last year, but spiraled up dangerously after Israel allegedly carried out ambitious operations within Tehran and Beirut following a rocket strike that killed 12 young men in Israeli-occupied Golan Heights on the 27th of July. In April, Iran fired more than 330 drones and missiles towards Israel in response to an Israeli attack on its consulate in the Syrian capital Damascus that killed 13 people. Now let's talk about possible attack scenarios. As D-Day nears, analysts suggest three approaches Iran may adopt to deal a blow that deters the Israelis, but not as severe as to invite direct US involvement. The first scenario could be more missiles and drones from different sides. The foremost challenge facing the Iranians is the difficulty of bypassing Israel's robust missile defense systems. Out of over 300 projectiles sent in April, only a few fell in Israeli territory. The rest were intercepted and eliminated before they reached its airspace. Analysts at the Institute of the Study of War, a US-based think tank, believe that Iran would not just fire projectiles from its territory, but ask regional proxies in Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Iraq to launch simultaneous attacks to overwhelm the air defense of Israel and the United States. Drones and missiles fired from Iraq, Lebanon, and Syria would be much harder to intercept than those launched from Iran due to shorter distances and flight times to Israel. It would give US and Israeli forces significantly less time to respond. As per assessments, it would take Hezbollah drones around 15 minutes to reach Haifa and around 40 minutes flying on direct paths to reach Tel Aviv. Scenario 2. Simultaneous attacks on US forces. Experts fear that Iran and its proxies when it comes to forces in Syria and Iraq could simultaneously attack US forces, especially in northern Syria. Recent reports in Syrian media talked of the arrival of Yemen's Houthis in Syria from Iraq and their commission to different positions across eastern and southern Syria. Such a strategy will pull American attention and resources away from identifying and intercepting projectiles bound for Israel, making projectiles more likely to penetrate Israeli air defenses. And finally, in scenario 3, a multi-day attack. Iran and its allies could conduct waves of drones and missile attacks over several days, enabling Iran and its proxies to learn and adjust their attacks as they observe how successful each volley is. There are also talks of targeted killings of Israeli figures in Iranian media. On the 4th of August, Iranian armed forces run Defa Press called on Iran and its allies to target prominent Israeli leaders in retaliation for Haniyeh's killing, which has been blamed on Israel. Nonetheless, it would be difficult for Iran and its proxies to hand over any real damage to Israel, given the massive American firepower and troops' presence in West Asia. As per The Intercept, the US has more than 60 bases, garrisons, or shared foreign facilities in the region, from small combat outposts to massive air bases in countries like Bahrain, Egypt, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and the United Arab Emirates. In June last year, the US Department of Defense put its troop numbers in West Asia at more than 30,000. It is believed to have increased since, given the presence of a carrier strike group and an amphibious ready group together hosting more than 12,000 sailors and marines, not to mention many other sophisticated warships sailing in the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, Gulf of Oman, and the Mediterranean. Earlier this week, the US ordered deployment of an additional fighter squadron to West Asia to bolster defensive air support capability in addition to ballistic missile defense capable cruisers and destroyers. So those are the scenarios for you. We'll have to wait and see how Iran responds to Israeli attacks and the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh. Thank you for watching India Today Global.